Okay, good morning and welcome to the early bird and the end of the financial year as well. So here goes all the work into the tax situation. Always a charming event, and also need to mention that the Forex Elliott wave charts won't be operating from tomorrow until the 15th. So there's a 2 week break on that one. Okay, and I will also be working on putting a new tab in place for Elliott Wave, ASX Elliott Wave. A bit more effort will go into that in terms of trying to consistently track certain stocks and a better display of being able to access them as well. So all good there. Now, okay, so this is the Shanghai market here. The Shenzhen's pretty much the same as well. And we were looking at this structure here ending here and moving up through here. So far, this move up here is in 3 waves. So we've got the beginning, the middle, and this ending part here. So we've got 3 waves there. What we were looking for is 5 waves, which we may get today. So we're sort of looking something like this here. That would be down there, but that's the general gist of it all. And we were looking for that to come in around the 2,800 here, which is a profit-taking number, the 8. And we'd expect that structure to sort of complete there. Once that's complete, that's an impulse wave with 5 waves. Then we'll see an ABC correction, a 3, a 5, 3, and 5 structure within that. Once that's complete, then if that's the case, if we get 5 waves there, then we'll get the ABC, which 5 waves here and 3 waves here is called a motive wave. It's 8 waves, so 5, 8, and so forth. And then we'd see another push going up through here. Now, the bigger picture here, if I just scroll this in, we've talked about this situation here where we've had 5 waves up in terms of the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 to here, and then this A, B, and C correction here. So we were kind of looking at this as being a low in here, and this would also line up with the count that we've had on the S&P 500 out there as being a bullish count, and we'll look at that in a moment, but I just wanted to sort of bring this in. So we're looking for this to be the low in a sense. So, and even in the bigger picture still here, we'd be looking at this situation here. So we're basically looking at this big picture here as an A and a B and a C wave, this up for a wave 1 and an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then moving up again. Yep, so this little pattern that I drew in here, this up for 5 and back for 3 here, is very much the same as up for 5 here, and A and a B and a C, and then moving up. So that's what we're sort of guiding ourselves on there, and that's just the bigger picture there. So where it would sort of fit in with the other markets, such as the S&P 500 here, is we were considering this structure here always bothered us here, this move here, because it wasn't in 5 waves, it was in 3 waves, an A and a B and a C. So it's a corrective structure. So we were looking at this being an A and a B and a C to here, then A, B, and C to here, the B wave taking out the top here. It does that, that's fine. And then looking for this structure down through here to complete. Now, there can also be another 5-wave structure down through here to complete this here, but it will be interesting to see what occurs at the 1300 here. Now, if this market, and this is something to watch now, if this market can develop support on the 1300 here, then we can have that into play, and that 5th wave doesn't need to come down through there. It would be included in here. So support on the 1300 is what it's really all about, and that's what we'll be sort of zooming in on and sort of focusing. So with the US markets, we'd be looking at this. We just go into that now, actually, while we're here. Okay, we've got it here already, that's good. So it's kind of looking at, first of all, treating it as a corrective wave up in terms of an A and a B and a C wave in 5 waves here. So the 5 waves would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. And then once it's complete, the 5 waves, it's going to come back and check this anyway. So we would see more of a 4th wave pattern across here. We would see perhaps another push up through there because the long wave's in the 3rd wave here. And these structures here, as you can see, are actually growing in size, so they're expanding to the upside. So it is a trend. And but we'll see if this 4th wave settles in here a little bit better, and then we go up small 5 waves up there, a little bit like what's happened here, tacked onto here, and then back into here. Now, if this, after this occurs here, if this locks under here and becomes, the resistance, then we would look at the other leg coming down here. But, we could expect through here some sort of A, B, and C correction like this here before we'd see, another push up if that was going to be the case. So an A and a B and a C here. So really we need to see what occurs here. Now we would be able to get some other leads from other markets as well, such as the euro pushing up through the 145, but it would need to get support, a stronger support on the 144, and we can look at that a little bit later. But there is a reasonable chance for to markets to push up. So if we look back at this is the S&P 500 here, if we looked at the S&P 1000 here, we can see that this has always been a bit of a leader of like the S&P 1000. This has already sort of moved up here. I don't have last night's in here, so this would have moved up further. But just the fact that it's moved up and overlapping this wave structure here is very sort of helpful. But we'll see how it goes as meeting supply in this little area here. This is where the supply starts here. And this would be what it would be like on the Dow Jones too, running into supply problems too if it was going to rally. So at the 12,300 here and the 12,004, it's at the 12,3 sort of at the moment. But you see this low here, so this low here and the 4 here, this is obviously, this is the 12.4 here is obviously a real sort of, point in the market there that, needs consideration. So this little low here, this whole little block here, so I've tagged it out as 12,372 to 12.4 there. That's where the supply is. That's where the resistance is going to be. So that's just an area that we also need to watch as well. But what I am saying is that when we look at the S&P 500, you see that it's already moved. The S&P 1000, it's already moved further up here, and it'll also be high. Last night's bar's not in here, so it's already moved up in here. So it's kind of a leader in a way. So I like that strength there. I'm talking about this because the base metals have also got a good possibility as well. So this would be the A wave, the B wave here, and the C wave here. So positive sort of thing there. And also the transports as well. The transports are a strong market in the US, of course. Also got the same sort of thing here, but within this one here, in this pattern here, it's also moved up through here as well, and it would have moved up further last night as well. And even so, this particular move through here looks corrective as well. But at the same time, we need to just get a bit more out of it to see where it is coming through here. The move up on the Dow Jones last night, or over the last few days here, we've been talking about the volume. We can see how the volumes, this is moving up and the volume's diminishing here. So a bit more last night, which is good, but we'll see how that occurs. So we're getting a rising market, but not on increasing volumes. So, it's a signal that, it's not as, the volume's not confirming the price action. So there we go. Okay, so a bit of strength there and all of that. Now, I just want to switch over to the futures market a little bit here, because I want to bring our sort of focus onto the base metals and the copper market here. And we've had this this pattern across the medium level here, the 400 here. I still see it as corrective. It's just that it'll be corrective in another form because we've got this three-wave structure here. Then it makes it a corrective move. We've also got this down to these lows here is also a corrective move here in terms of an A and a B and a C. But from this point here, we've got 5 waves up here, and we've got this strong situation happening here. So I feel that we can go further up here, looking at this structure here, which is important for our markets in terms of the Australian dollar and also the material sector. BHP and Rio can have a 50% impact on our markets, and we're finding that on the index, and we're also seeing our finance sector, especially Commonwealth Bank, take the lead there, which it has done from the US banking sector as well. So that all sort of fits together there. But what interests me here is yesterday we were talking about a little 5-wave structure possibly moving up through here, and that's been the case. So we've got that little wave 1, 2, 3, we'll have back for 4 here, and we've got this extension in this wave here. I may have to adjust that into a stronger 3rd wave here. But the point is that, it's definitely breaking to the upside there. And if you understand Richard Wyckoff's work a little bit, then you'll understand that this basing pattern through here offers a foundation, and so it's essentially got further to go up through here. Now, in saying that, this needs to be understood. Medium level 4 here, then we've got the 10, the 20, and the 30. Now, they're all part of what we call Group 1. If the price rather can find support on top of the 30 here, and not just trading above it, we'll see sets of 5 waves moving up through here, but it will probably move up through there, then come back and muck around for a while. But eventually, when it finds support, and if it finds support, then what it does, it basically separates itself psychologically from the 400 here, and traders will start thinking they just naturally, for whatever reasons, start to forget about the past and start to think of the future. So these other numbers come in. So support on the 430 here gets us to the midpoint here. And this is quite exciting because obviously this is going to drive the Australian dollar and then lift our markets up. But I have to say, with our markets last night, with the SPY and so forth, we had good moves in the US markets and in the European markets. But I felt that this is our SPY here, the latest contract here. I felt that it was quite sluggish, actually, in amongst all of this here from last night. So I thought that was sort of interesting. So we've got a bit of a drag happening on this, so we'll see how we go. Even BHP in the US last night was only up like I think 1.5% or something, which normally it would have moved much further. So there is a bit of a drag on our markets, but so just note that. We also understand too that on the daily chart or 4-hour whatever, there is technical resistance at the 4.6 here in terms of supply. So there will be problems in this area here, and of course there will also be resistance within here. But what traders are looking for today is support on the 450 here. And if you're long above the 4,500, then keep the stops down here, and especially sort of in around here at least. Just keep them safe there until you got support on the 450 there, and then the support on the 72 there. But longer term, you want to be trading for the 446, and there'll be some sort of corrective pattern across here. The Dow, why we're sort of here, this is a sort of 5-minute chart here. We're considering this here an A and a B and a C wave up to here in 5 waves, and done a bit of work on this. So we'll have the 1, the 2, there'll be 5 waves in here, the 3, the 4, and the 5 coming up into this area here, anywhere from the 12.3 sort of upwards here. and the European markets are the same as well. They're same sort of pattern as this. Just going back to the other drivers here. Sorry, going around a different way this morning. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I just wanted to paint a certain picture there that we're all sort of all on the same page. Now, we have to see with the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, the S&P 500 and the Dow finishing a little further upside structure and then coming back and retesting their trends. Then we'll know from that point. Now, we had our target points. This is oil here. We had our target points for 95 coming in here. So they're there at the moment. We can allow it to go further. Where the supply comes in is the 61.8 retracement level. So we had a couple of ways of counting this down through here. On the early bird here, we had 5 waves coming down, had a big triangle here, 5 waves coming down through to here, down the 90, looking for a 61.8 retracement back to this point here. The other pattern we had was coming back to, as a 4th wave, coming back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree, which was in here. The 96.50 and the 95 will be strong resistance points here. We'll look for that. The next set of resistance points, if the market does push up, will be in the 97.72 area here, where the supply starts. The resistance starts here. The gold market. Okay, so our bounce is well underway, and we're looking for that to play out either at this level here or this level here. Now, obviously, this level here is where the supply is sitting, where the technical resistance is, so that's where I would sort of expect it to come to. So I was looking from this low here. There's a couple of ways to count all this structure coming down and all this as well. But I was sort of looking for, this is how I was sort of seeing it here in terms of an A and a B and a C wave moving up through here. And the C wave would have 5 waves, so it would have the 1, the 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 here, and then for wave 2 back to here. Wave 3 to the upside would be up for 1, back for 2. There'll be 5 waves in here for the little 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th here, and then we'd see the wave 4 come across here at 510, and then the 5th wave up to 520 and fail at that point there. Now, that's the analysis. We'll see that roll over from here, but you know that we can't be short above why something is sitting on a level, medium level. So naturally, if you're a betting person, then we'd bet to be on the long side above a level and short on this side of it. So you know, if support is found on this level here, then you can trade it up further there. But also understand all the little sub levels between this sub level here, 10. There will be micro levels between here as well. So the normal pattern with the levels is 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. So it's just a reoccurring of those 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Okay, the currency markets, looking at, we'll just start with the US dollar index here. The US dollar index here is, we're still looking at this as being a wave 1 up through to here. Just then an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to here, coming back once again to 75 or the 61.8 retracement level within here, and then a move up from that point there. Now, if that's the case here, then the euro at 144 would be having problems there. So looking at that here, this would also be considered the A, the B, and the C here, for the euro having troubles at the 144 here. But as you know, if you're looking on our euro charts on our site, you'll see that there is a possibility that a big triangle pattern there that can see the euro push much higher, and that would be in line with the S&P 500 analysis as well, because the S&P 500 and the euro move together. So that breakout out of that triangle on the euro would be around the 145, probably a bit lower, but we could consider the 145 here as support, a breakout to the upside there, and that would also give the S&P 500 enough time to establish itself on the 1300 as well. So that's interesting, bigger picture stuff, but that's there. The short term here, we've seen a sharp spike here as Greece accepts the financial package from the community, 155 to 138, so they sort of just got it through, I guess. But in terms of trading when the market opens here, this is 144 here, the Fibbo number. Subgroup 1 here, we'd want support sitting on that level before going any further to the upside. But this pattern through here appears to be 5 waves in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're seeing this corrective pattern here. So any support on here would be would be the move up from there. So from here we can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll see an A and a B and a C here. So the market would be opening in New Zealand, be open already, but as it hits Australia here, you need allow it to come back down and find support there before any upside there. The Australian market here, this is the June trend channel coming down at 105 here. The market moved through here once. The retest didn't fail, so it was back above. Even the move down through here, when it retested, because the breakout is important, but the retest is more important, it never stayed, never kept under there, and now we're seeing a nice strong push to the upside here. We have to consider this now being corrective and new highs being made. This 107.72 here would be one of the main resistance points here. Of course, the 107 is as well, but just to point that in there. But yeah, so a very positive structure to the upside coming through here. So just continue to trade the levels and move to the upside, just realizing that the 107's going to give a larger corrective pattern than previously, because the trend is growing to the upside. So yeah. Okay, starting to waffle on here a bit, but that's pretty much it. But just recapping here is the S&P 500 finding support over the next few sessions here would be really important for any upside movement. So we just really need to give it a bit of time here. But we should get leads from the S&P 1000, the Euro, and also the base metals market here. So anyway, plenty of work to be done here. The Dow Jones will run into problems of supply up around the 12.4 area here. That's where it really sort of kicks in. But the next session really probably won't see much, but are working across the 12.3 here. So there seems to be in most markets another push to the upside. But that's where they run into problems. So gold will be running into problems, crude will be running into problems, this market would be running into problems, the Shanghai would be running into 12,800. So our market at 4.6. So there is that resistance in 2 or 3 days ahead here. So we need to be aware of that, and it wouldn't be the time to be shoveling in money on the long side once you're up into these areas here. Even adding into the markets today would have to be sort of, not over trading, have to be a nice balance, or under trading at least, because you're going to be putting money in the markets and you'll be facing a correction with those as well. In a few days ahead. So just kind of get a feel of all that, and if you're going to overtrade, then trade for the shorter term. All right, good morning and good luck.